hello again, everyone, and welcome to another Portage Daily Register sports webcast. I hope wherever you are today, you're having a nice day. Travis, this past Saturday, you had an opportunity to witness a pretty special game over at Portage High School. Why don't you talk a little bit about that game?
Yeah, it was Reedsburg boys basketball came to town to play Portage, and Reedsburg's led by Chad Mazur, a senior sharpshooter, and he was on Saturday afternoon against Portage. He ended up pouring in 51, which was a pretty amazing performance when you think about it. It ended up being a school record for Reedsburg, beating Clayton Hansen, former Badger, beating his school record of 47 points. So it was an amazing performance, I thought. It was fun to watch. But on the flip side, the encouraging note for the Portage boys, who have been struggling a little bit early on, is I thought they played really well, maybe one of their better games of the season. If you look at their scoring, Daniel Beck led the way with 17, and Ian Taylor had 15. I thought both of those guys, they're only sophomores, probably played their best games as Warriors. And then Aaron Olson, who is a junior, so at least they're going to have another year of him, he hit 4 3-pointers, and he's turned into one of the better outside shooters they got, and he ended up with 12 points. And Adam Considine, who's the freshman on the team, he had 10. So there's a lot of points there from young guys that are going to be back. So you can definitely see the improvement that this team's making, and they got a lot of young guys. So while Mazur maybe stole the show with 51, I thought there was some good stuff from Portage in that game, and reason to be encouraged for the future for Portage boys hoops.
And that's great that you point that out. A lot of times when someone like Mazur has a really special game, it often gets overlooked, some of the other factors and other players involved or the other team. But one player that wasn't overlooked in the NFL this weekend, I don't think anybody didn't know or didn't hear about Marshawn Lynch's incredible 67-yard touchdown run to when he broke 6 tackles in the process to pretty much put away the Saints in that game, and the Seahawks are moving on, and I don't think anybody thought they were moving on, and Packers fans probably didn't want to see them move on, and the Bears get, maybe an easier opponent there. But Travis, the Bears and the Seahawks on Sunday, who do you like in that game?
Yeah, that run was something else. It reminded me of the old Tecmo Bowl video games where Bo Jackson would run and defenders would bounce off him, but I don't see any more Tecmo Bowl-like runs for the Seahawks this week. They're playing a pretty good defense in Chicago. And Seattle did win in Chicago 23-20 back in October. But in that game, they sacked Jay Cutler 6 times. Back in October, the Bears' offensive line struggled. They're much improved now. I think they're going to shore that up and win fairly easy, so I'll take the Bears.
Chicago, that kind of seems to be the story of their season. They did start to play pretty well towards the end of the regular season, but the schedule wasn't too difficult, especially in the first half of the season, and they won the games they were supposed to win for the most part. I do like Seattle's chances again to compete in this game, but I'm also going to pick Chicago to win this one and move on to the NFC Championship game for the first time since the 2005 season when they went to the Super Bowl. And then obviously everybody knows the Packers had a big win over Philadelphia. They're going down to Atlanta to take on the Falcons, the number 1 seed in the NFC there. Travis, who do you like in this game?
I tell you what, the Packers, the key to the game for the Packers is they got to run the ball, which for the most part they haven't did all year. But James Starks, the rookie, he ran for 123 yards against the Eagles, and all of a sudden maybe they got a running game. And they didn't run against Atlanta when they played them earlier this year, and that killed them, I thought. But if you look at that game, they probably should have won the game. They had a turnover by Aaron Rodgers at the goal line, and he had a big day passing, threw for like 340 yards, and almost won the game. So if they can get rid of the turnovers, run the ball a little better, I think that they can win. And that's why I'm picking them to win in a close game. I hope I'm right. We'll see what happens, but I'll give the Packers to win on a late field goal.
I agree mostly with your point that the Packers can't turn the ball over on Saturday. The one thing you can probably count on is Atlanta isn't going to make too many mistakes, and if Green Bay makes a couple of critical mistakes, Atlanta's probably going to take advantage of that. I like the Packers' chances to be right in this one, and hopefully as a Packer fan pull it out. But ultimately, I think Atlanta is going to play the way they have all season, not make mistakes, run the football, control the clock, and just make one more play than Green Bay and win another close game. So I'm going with Atlanta on this one as much as I hope that's not the case. Over in the AFC, I don't think you could draw up 2 better matchups, more intense matchups. more intriguing matchups for fans. Travis, in Pittsburgh and Baltimore are going to be playing in a rivalry game, a physical game. Who do you like in that one?
I tell you what, I was really impressed by the Baltimore defense. I mean, we obviously knew they were pretty good going into the playoffs, but they just dominated, especially in the second half of that game against Kansas City. And this team, like I said last week, they are really good on the road in the playoffs. They showed that, and I think they can do it again. And it's a tough matchup for Pittsburgh because their weak spot is their offensive line, and I wouldn't want to be going against that defense with a poor offensive line. So I think they're going to pull off the road upset, and I'll take Baltimore in a close one.
I said before the season, I said last week that before the season, Baltimore was my pick to get to the Super Bowl. Then I had the Chiefs upsetting them. That didn't happen. I had Pittsburgh in the Super Bowl when I said this, when I made my picks last week, and I'm going to have to go with Pittsburgh again in this game. I think it's going to be close. Probably could go either way, but not too many teams going to Pittsburgh and win, especially in the playoffs, and I think Pittsburgh's going to move on in this one. And over in the other matchup, the Jets and the Patriots. One team likes to talk a lot. The other team just seems to like to win. Who do you like in this one, Travis?
Well, 45-3. That was the score the last time these guys met in New England, where this game will be this weekend. And I think it's going to be another blowout, just for the very reason you said. The Jets just like to talk and talk, and in New England just goes out and plays and wins. And that 45-3 whooping that they put on them, it sticks in my mind, and I think it's maybe not going to be that lopsided this time, but I still think they're going to win pretty easy, so I'll take the Patriots.
I don't have a very good reason for picking the Jets, but I'm going to pick the Jets in this one. Like I said, I don't really have a good reason. I think they're going to find a way to make the corrections to come back from that blowout. And I thought all season that New England wasn't quite as good as their record, which is, I guess, hard to make a convincing argument for when, Tom Brady is the quarterback there and they have arguably the best coach since Vince Lombardi. But I didn't think they were as good as their record all season, and I think the Jets are going to find a way to get up for this one and win. One thing to pay attention to, the Jets really make a living running the football, and it just was mentioned today that Damian Woody, one of their outstanding offensive linemen, out for the season with a torn Achilles. So that might hamper the Jets' running game, and obviously would give the Patriots a better chance to win. But I'm going with the Jets in this one. Still going with the Steelers to win to get to the Super Bowl over the Jets next weekend. Should be a great weekend of NFL football. Hopefully you have a chance to get down and sit somewhere and watch all 4 games. If not, the Packers. Hopefully we'll be talking about a Packers win when we come back next week. Hope everybody take care and see you again next week.